Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Email Marketing Mastery. And let's just jump right into it. So today we're going to be talking about what constitutes permission. And let me just say this, that there's no topic that causes more heated discussions than what constitutes permission, especially amongst businesses and email marketers. Right, so let's get going. I want to actually start with what does not constitute permission. I think that's an easier way to ease into this. So, LinkedIn, one of my favorite pain points. So let me just say this. If you ask to connect to somebody on LinkedIn, the fact that a person accepts your connection does not in any way, shape or form give you the right or the permission to take that person's email address and add it to an email marketing list. I get just unbelievable amounts of spam from people who has connected with me on LinkedIn and then goes ahead and adds my email address to their email marketing list. And believe me that I go out of my way to report people that do this to their respective ESPs, and I go out of my way to get them shut down because that is an exceptionally bad practice. And it's not just LinkedIn, it's any social media site. If somebody connects with you on social media, whatever the platform may be, if you somehow get access to their email address, just because you are connected to them, you do not have the permission to take their email address and add it to your email marketing list. You can reach out to them directly and ask them if they want to join and send them a link to an opt-in form to actually officially opt in to your email marketing list. But adding them yourself, one of the biggest no-nos. Next up, websites. Just because a person or a company actually publishes their email address or an email address on their website, that does not give you permission to take that email address, copy it off the website, and then go add it to your email marketing list. That's known as scraping, and it is frowned upon in all the email marketing circles. It's not something that you should do. Next up, business cards. Oh my word. If I give you my business card when I meet you face to face, those few of us that actually still use business cards, I know there aren't many, especially in today's day and age, but a business card with an email address, again, does not give you permission to add that person to an email marketing list. It gives you permission to email them one-on-one directly and either request information or provide information. And during such an email exchange, yes, absolutely, you are more than welcome to ask them to join your list and give them a link to a site where they can go sign up to your list. Conferences. One of the biggest places where business cards get exchanged. I'm sure most of you have been to a conference in the past where you have a booth and there is perhaps a competition running, right? There's a big old fish bowl, drop in your business card and stand the chance to win X, Y, or Z. Nothing wrong with that. That's phenomenal. But you or the person dropping in their business card into that bowl is giving you permission to contact them in the case of they winning something, or one or two or maybe three direct one-on-one follow-up emails. Again, you do not have permission to add that person to your email marketing list. There is an exception to this rule when it comes to a conference. If you clearly state that by dropping your business card in this box or bowl or whatever it may be, you will be added to our email marketing list. Now you put the onus on the person dropping their card into the box or into the bowl. You're telling them up front, you will be added. So if you don't want to be added, do not drop your business card, right? This is, and also one of the other things that happens at conferences, lots of people meet each other. Have a conversation, find what the person is doing interesting, exchange business cards or exchange contact information. Again, this does not constitute permission to be added to an email marketing list. Unless you ask the person, the safest way to do it in such a way is, we all have mobile phones we all have smartphones. Let me rephrase it. We all have smartphones with modern browsers on it. Open up your smartphone, go to your opt-in page, tell the person, if you want to join my list, here you go. Hand the phone to that person and let them type in their own information. That way they have personally opted into your list and it is acceptable. Right, moving on. Now we kind of get into what does actually constitute permission. So it's always better to ask for permission to email ahead of time than to ask for forgiveness for spamming later. The cost of sending just one unsolicited email or spam far outweighs the potential benefit that you could gain from marketing or to sending the message. This one is very controversial. Double opt-in, or confirmed opt-in as it's also known, email marketing is the only way to guarantee permission. If you have an opt-in form on a page that is single opt-in, it doesn't require confirmation. Anybody can go fill in anybody's email address on that form, and this is happening on a daily basis. And this is actually, it's become such a big problem in the email marketing industry, where you have all of these bots that run. It's just scripts running in the background. They go to millions of pages. They fill in information. Most of it is, well, not most of it, all of it is not their own email addresses. And I see this on a daily basis. And the most guaranteed way to make sure this doesn't happen is double opt-in or confirmed opt-in. Now, there are lots of arguments against using double opt-in or confirmed opt-in. The biggest one being that a lot of people don't actually confirm, right? Your list growth is a lot slower using double opt-in because the industry average is only around 40% of people actually confirm a confirmation message, right? Go click on the link to make sure that they get added to the list. But let me tell you this. No spam trap, and we're going to cover spam traps in a lot of detail a little bit later on in the series, but no spam trap will ever click an opt-in confirmation link, right? So if one of these bots are malicious and they are adding spam traps to your list, then those spam traps are not going to click your confirmation link, right? So you are safe from getting spam traps onto your list. You're going to send out one message to that trap, which is going to be confirm by clicking this link to be on my list. They're not going to do it, right? You're safe. These bots that are adding people, unbeknownst to them, to all of these different lists, if you have a double opt-in list, the people that are receiving the confirmation messages, they're looking at it and they go, okay, I never signed up for this. I don't know what this is. And they ignore it. They don't click on. They may even report it as spam. But worst case scenario, it's one message from you that gets marked as spam, instead of the next 10 messages in your sequence that gets marked as spam. But anyway, I'm going to stop hammering on this one. We're going to come back to the double opt-in and single opt-in at a later stage. But let's move along. Right. So don't just gain permission, but you have to maintain the permission that has been granted, right? So when a person gives you permission to communicate with them, the clock immediately starts ticking. If you don't communicate with them as soon as possible, you run the risk of the permission you collected expiring. Now let me ask you this question. Can you remember what email list you signed up for last year? Beginning of last year, January of 2019. Can you remember the lists that you signed up for in December of 2019? Can you remember the list that you signed up for last week? And I'll be honest with you, I'm as guilty as anybody here. Can you remember the list that you signed up for yesterday? A lot of people don't, right? They sign up for so many things all over the internet that they forget what they signed up for. If you don't have a welcome series, immediately immediately start sending out, welcoming that person to your list, providing valuable and actionable information. The next message that you may send in 2 weeks' time, that person won't remember, and that person will mark it as spam, right? So this is not something that is not a position that you want to be in, right? So if this permission dwindles and you send an email, it may be considered spam. So I've already covered that, right? This is just the formal wording that I've used here. So yeah, let's move right along to the next section. So set expectations, frequency, right? Tell them how often and when to expect it, right? So let's say, for instance, you only mail out on your newsletter Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell the people, tell your subscribers, this is when you can expect messages from us. If you are emailing every day, tell them up front, right? If they know that you're going to be sending them a message 7 days a week, they'll understand. They may not like the frequency and eventually opt out, but at least you set the expectation right up front. And the content, right? Tell them what kind of content to expect. What are you going to be talking about? What is your newsletter related to? Again, you want people to be excited to receive and go through your content. Let subscribers manage their preferences, right? Let them choose how often. So most of the ESPs out there has got preference centers, and some of them are much more robust than others, but the vast majority of them, there's at least some level of choice for your subscriber. So let them choose how often they receive your messages. Let's say you mail every day. Maybe have an option where you send a every second day or every third day, or maybe a once weekly update of everything that was discussed in the past week, right? Give them that ability. Giving them the ability to choose what kind of content, right? So if you're mailing about a lot of different stuff within the same industry, so let's say, for instance, you sign up to my list, and I'm talking about email marketing in general. But email marketing in general covers a lot of different sub niches or sub specialities, right? We can talk about deliverability, we can talk about spam traps, and I may send out pieces of content around all of those things. So, right, so have the ability for your subscriber to choose what kind of content they would like to continue to receive. Maybe somebody doesn't want to receive messages about email copywriting, but they're very interested in email deliverability and spam trap information. So have the ability for people to opt out, and this is easily done when you have tags, right? Tags is most probably one of the most powerful features in modern ESPs. The ability to tag an individual subscriber with their likes and their dislikes and mail based on that. So also allow them the ability to control frequency. And I'm sorry, but that is a duplicate of the first item, just worded ever so slightly differently. And most importantly of all is honor all opt-outs. I've seen so many email marketers, and I'm not going to name any names, these are really bad email marketers, that'll have somebody opt out from their list on one ESP, and then they actually collect all of those opt-outs and move them to a different ESP and start emailing them from a different ESP. That is the worst possible practice that you could do, right? If somebody opts out, you want people to opt out. You have to celebrate opt-outs, because somebody who has unsubscribed from your list does not, number one, have the option to, at a later stage, one of your later messages, mark it as spam and hurt your deliverability. But also, overall, your list quality improves by having people who do not want to receive your information no longer on your list, right? Don't get upset about people unsubscribing. Absolutely celebrate it, and you have to honor that opt-out across all of your different platforms. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Let me just switch over here to camera so you can see my ugly mug here. This is a very big, very wide, in-depth topic that we can speak on for days and debate. And the debate part always gets heated, because you have people that say this is allowed and somebody else says no, that isn't allowed, and it just goes back and forth, and it gets crazy from time to time. But all I can tell you is this is one of the most important things to get right, regardless of the country laws to where you are sending emails. You've got to think mailbox provider. Number one, we spoke about this last week when we spoke about the the rules slash laws funnel, and where countries are the least strict, ESP is mid-level strict, and then your mailbox providers are the strictest. And for them, permission is everything, right? You are catering for the mailbox providers, number one, because their most important asset are their customers, and their customers are your subscribers, right? So honor the rules and the regulations of the mailbox providers. Right, I'm not going to bore you for any longer. So any questions, if you have any questions right now, pop it into the comments. If you are not watching this live, if you're actually watching a replay, still pop any questions into the comment box. I will be notified by Facebook, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I will see it on YouTube, and I will respond to your comments. If you don't want to post it in public, send an email, emm@inboxjam.com, and if I don't respond to it on there, we'll cover viewer questions right here on the live stream and obviously on the recording. And episode 4 next week, same time, same place, live on Facebook. Good and bad opt-ins, right? So we're going to look at some examples of good opt-in forms, good opt-in pages, bad opt-in forms, bad opt-in pages. That's again one of those things where we could go for hours and hours and hours on end looking at that. But I promise you, we're gonna. Well, I try and keep these episodes to around the 20-minute mark, just so it doesn't get repetitive and boring. So one last view of my ugly mug there. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, or even if you're watching on Facebook, hit the like, hit the subscribe on YouTube, hit the notification button so you get notifications, and I will see you next week Thursday. Thank you very much. Richard out.